بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي بتحميده يستفتح كل باب وبذكره يصبر كل خطاب، ونتوب إليه توبة من يؤمن أنه رب الأرباب ومسبب الأسباب، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه صلاة تنقذنا من هول يوم العرض والحساب، وتمهلنا عند الله زلفى وحسن مآب. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كلامه القديم: اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر، وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: بعثت أنا والساعة كهاتين يقرب بين إصبعيه السبابة والوسطى. Honorable ulama, respected elders, dearest brothers in Islam, dearest brothers and sisters in Islam, and all the viewers watching the live stream, we begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has gathered us here on a blessed day, in a blessed location, for a blessed task. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who is the exalted, the glorious, the one who turns night into day and day into night. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless the best of His creation, our Master, our Habib Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who has commanded us to be upright. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless him, to bless each and every one of his companions, the members of his household, and to bless each and every one of us who will follow the path of our Habib Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with sincerity and dedication until the day of Qiyamah. Ameen. Dearest brothers, today we have gathered here and we have almost passed half of Ramadan. Half of Ramadan is over. The 15 days of Ramadan, more than 15 days of Ramadan are over. And we have entered the second half. You see, when there is a cricket match, in the first half, the players, they go slow. They build momentum. And when it's the second half, especially the final quarter of the match, they build up that momentum and the power play starts. So we also, like the cricketers, they do it on the field. We Muslimin in the month of Ramadan, we need to start our power play now. Very important nights are on the threshold. We are about to enter the last 10 days of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Lord of the Quran, Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alf shahr. The Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, the night of decree, is greater than 1,000 months. If we were to sit and count and divide these 1,000 months, we will come to a conclusion that Laylatul Qadr is even better than 83 years of worship. So we need to work hard to find Laylatul Qadr in the last 10 nights of Ramadan and build on the momentum that we have built until now and start the power play. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the tawfiq and the strength to attain Laylatul Qadr. Please say Ameen. Moving on today, in the past we discussed the minor signs, then we discussed Al-Imam Al-Mahdi radiyallahu anhu, and now we have arrived at a discussion that is very important. A discussion that is very important, and the topic of this discussion is Al-Masih Al-Dajjal. Al-Dajjal, the false Messiah. Before we start this discussion, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from the trials that will be caused by Dajjal. Ameen. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, of course, has taught us that after every salah, we need to seek protection from Dajjal. In a hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Al-ayatu kharazatun manzumatun fi sirki. فإن يقطع السلك يتبع بعضها بعضا. The major signs of Qiyamah are like beads, on a string. To take the tasbih, there are beads attached to a string. If the string is cut off, one bead will fall. What happens next? What happens next? Other beads will follow. It's a domino effect. When one bead falls, nothing can stop the other beads from falling. So, when Mahdi has come, it is inevitable that the Dajjal is very close by. The Dajjal is very close by. And when Dajjal comes, it is inevitable for the day of Qiyamah to come. For the day of Qiyamah to come. Now, who is Dajjal? Any of our brothers can raise your hands and stand up and explain to us. Who is Dajjal? Bismillah. Anyone? Any idea about Dajjal? Yes, brother. No one? No? Yahya? Yes, brother. You stand? No. Come, Ali. Bismillah. No. Abdullah? No one. No problem. So, when we talk about Dajjal, there are a lot of stories that are here and there. There is a lot of false propaganda. False propaganda. Some say the TV in your house, he is the Dajjal. The TV in your house, that is the Dajjal. Because it is like having a one eye. The TV resembles one eye. Some say the mobile phone is the Dajjal. And likewise, there are multiple other perceptions and assumptions. The Prophet ﷺ described Dajjal to us. And we should come to a conclusion that Dajjal is nothing but a human. Dajjal is nothing but a human. What type of a human he is, how he will resemble, how he will look, that we will discuss. But this is a firm conclusion derived from Ahadith that Dajjal is nothing but a human. But he is not just an ordinary human. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted him multiple strengths and multiple abilities which are not granted to anyone else. His strengths and abilities are not granted to anyone else. And why has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted such an evil person these strengths and abilities? The question comes to mind, isn't it? Why? Any idea? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted Dajjal so many strengths and abilities, while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He Himself knows that Dajjal is going to use it in an evil manner and spread corruption on earth. Anyone? Anyone has an answer for that? Anyone can stand up. Let's make this a little interactive. Abdul, MashaAllah, to test us. At the end of time, there will be a lot of corruption. To filter the mu'mineen from the disbelievers, to filter the good ones from the evil ones, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent Dajjal, and He has granted him so many capabilities. And why is he called Al-Masih al-Dajjal? Al-Masih, if translated in English, it means the Messiah, the Savior. But Al-Masih in Arabic means, it has multiple meanings. Even Isa alayhi salam is known as Al-Masih. So Dajjal is also known as Al-Masih. When it comes to Dajjal, his left eye will be wiped out. His left eye will be wiped out. He'll be one eye and he will not have a left eye. His left eye will be wiped out. Some say he will not even have an eyebrow on the left side. That is why he is known as Al-Masih Al-Dajjal. Some others also say, other ulama will say, Dajjal will be able to cover the distance on earth very quickly, in a quick span of time. From here to there he can go in a flash of light, like no human being can ever imagine. So he can wipe from there to here, he wipes away from here to there. So that is one reason why he is known as Al-Masih. That is also one reason why he is known as Al-Masih. And what is the meaning of Al-Dajjal? The word Al-Dajjal. Why is he referred to as Al-Dajjal? Anyone has any idea why he is known as Al-Dajjal? Dajjal in Arabic means to trick someone, to deceive someone, to make false fragmentations. So, Dajjal will be a trickster, he will be an imposter. Because of this reason, because of him being a liar, he is given the name of Dajjal. And what will he claim? He will claim, he will give life to human beings, and he will claim that he is the Lord of the world. But is that claim right? Definitely, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only Lord of the world. So, because of his claim, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to show the weakness of Dajjal, to show that he is eventually the creation of the Lord of the world, and he himself is not the Lord of the world. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّ الدَّجَّالَ أَعْوَرُ وَإِنَّ رَبَّكُمْ لَيْسَ بِأَعْوَرُ. Indeed, Dajjal is one eye. Is one eye. And indeed, your Lord is not one eye. We cannot give a description that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has eyes, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from all qualities that human beings have. Us having eyes, us having a nose through which we can smell, us having eyes through which we can see, us having the sense of feeling, makes us all human beings. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is free of all perceptions that a human being can make. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees, but His seeing is not like the seeing of the human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has knowledge, but His knowledge is not even a drop of water compared. The human being's knowledge is not even a drop of water compared to the vast knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Dajjal can never be the Lord of the world, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His creator, is the Lord of the world. Now, a question comes to mind. Where is Dajjal? Where is Dajjal? Did the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam see Dajjal? Did the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam look at Dajjal? Did the Sahaba radiallahu anhum look at Dajjal? Did they meet Dajjal? What do you think? What do you think? Abdullah or Muhammad? Abdullah. What do you think? No. You sure? Yahya, what do you think? No. So listen to this attentively. This is something that may surprise you, something that you might have not heard before. There was a youngster known as Ibn as-Sayyad. Ibn as-Sayyad. At the time of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was a youngster, he was known as Ibn as-Sayyad. But listen to the accounts of him in the hadith, then we will gauge if he is Dajjal or not. So what happens? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was himself not certain whether he was Dajjal or not. There is a car that is blocking the parking, and that is KB 777-1. 777-1. Jazakallah khairan. It takes courage to stand up like this and walk off a gathering to move one's car. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the brother. So, Ibn Sayyad, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu narrated that Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, his father, the father of Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, along with a group of men, accompanied the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to this person known as Ibn Sayyad, and found him playing with some boys. So he was a youngster at that time. This Ibn Sayyad, he was playing with some boys. He was about to approach puberty. He still hadn't hit puberty. Now the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam notices something and he taps on the back with his hand and he says to him, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam proclaims to Ibn Sayyad and he says, Ibn Sayyad, do you bear witness that I am the Messenger of Allah? Now, when asked this, Ibn Sayyad looks at the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he says, I bear witness that you are the messenger of the unlettered. In a bid to put the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam down, to believe the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ibn Sayyad he says, I bear witness that you are the messenger of the unlettered. Then Ibn Sayyad said to the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you are asking me if I bear witness whether if you are the messenger of Allah. Now I ask you, do you bear witness that I am the messenger of Allah? Ibn Sayyad asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam realizes that he is not going to come back, and he says, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam leaves arguing with him, and he proclaims to Ibn Sayyad, I believe in Allah and His messengers. Afterwards, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asks him, what do you see? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asks Ibn Sayyad, what do you see? Meaning, are you inspired with anything? Ibn Sayyad he says, a person who tells the truth comes to me. Then a person who lies comes to me. A truth teller and a liar both come to me. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam then said, Ibn Sayyad, what are you saying? You are confused. Then the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, just to test Ibn Sayyad, he says, I am hiding something in my mind from you. I am hiding something in my mind from you. Just to test Ibn Sayyad. Now Ibn Sayyad, when he says a truth teller comes to me and a liar comes to me, he is referring to maybe jinnat who come to him and inform about certain things. Now, even to drift away a little bit from the topic, even certain people who are fortune tellers, they use the help of perhaps jinnat. And jinnat, what they do, they go to the heavens, and when the angels, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala passes on the decree to the angels to go and fulfill it on the earth, angels, when they are passing it on to each other, the jinn, he goes and creeps in and tries to listen to something. And he comes and whispers to this fortune teller. This is how the fortune tellers see the future. And going to the fortune teller is forbidden and it is blameworthy in Islam. Nevertheless, the Prophet ﷺ tries to test him whether he really knows the future or not. And the Prophet ﷺ tells Ibn Sayyad, I have something in my mind. Do you know what I have in my mind? Then Ibn Sayyad says, it is a He tells the Prophet ﷺ, the thing that you have in mind, the thing that you are thinking of currently is a But the Prophet ﷺ, in stark reality, the word he had in mind was الدخان. Now the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam realizes that he is truly an evil person, he is a type of a fortune teller, and he says, may you be disgraced and dishonored, you will never go beyond your station. You will never go beyond your station. Meaning you will never be any more than you are, rather than a soothsayer, an impostor, and a fortune teller. Now, Umar radiallahu anhu, as we know, he never bears anything. Umar radiallahu anhu can never bear when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is insulted, when the message of Islam is being. Umar radiallahu anhu, he asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, grant me permission, I will just strike his neck off. I will strike his neck off. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, if he is actually Dajjal, referring to Ibn Sayyad, the youngster who was playing with those small boys, if he is actually Dajjal, then you will never be able to overpower him. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed that he will come at the end of time, he will cause his fitna, he will cause his trial, and he will be a means of testing for the mu'mineen. So, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam replies to Umar radiallahu anhu, and he says, if he is really Dajjal, then you will never be able to harm him or overpower him. But if he is not Dajjal, then there is no point in killing him. Let him just be. Now, after the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in another incident, again discussing Ibn Sayyad, can I have a raise of hands of the brothers who knew who Ibn Sayyad was before this? No? None? No, you knew. Where did you learn this from? MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Very good. So, in another incident, again discussing Ibn Sayyad, Umar radiallahu anhu, Abdul ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he says, after this incident that occurred, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Umayy ibn Ka'ab radiallahu anhu went to the palm trees where Ibn Sayyad was. So there was a garden-like area, Ibn Sayyad was there. When the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam entered the palm trees, he hid himself behind the trunk of the trees. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam secretly, very discreetly, he hid himself behind the trunk of the trees. Now Ibn Sayyad saw the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, saw Ibn Sayyad, he also saw the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, sorry, the mother of Ibn Sayyad, the mother of Ibn Sayyad saw that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has come. Now, Ibn Sayyad, he is lying down in the garden. He is having a bowl, he is having a picnic. And he is lying down with his blanket, murmuring something. The Prophet ﷺ wanted to know what he is murmuring. The mother of Ibn Sayyad, she calls on Ibn Sayyad, Sa. Ibn Sayyad's real name was Sa. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ is here. Muhammad is here. Now, what does Ibn Sayyad do? Out of fear for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Out of the fear for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ibn Sayyad jumps and gallops and flees away. Ibn Sayyad flees away. Now, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, if his mother had just left him there, it would have become clear to us what he really is. What he really is. In another narration, Ibn Sayyad is asked by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what do you see? Then Ibn Sayyad says, I see a throne over the water. I see a throne over the water. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells him, you are seeing the throne of Iblis, the Shaitan. What else do you see? He said, I see that two truth-tellers and one liar come to me. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, he has been confused. Leave me alone. interesting incident where we also can get a little bit confused. So it is important that we pay a little bit of attention. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu, he says, we set out to Hajj or Umrah, and Ibn Sayyad was with us. So the Sahaba radiallahu anhu went for Hajj, and Ibn Sayyad was with them. Now they halted at that time. It was not all air travel. It was not all sea travel, and there were no aeroplanes that are there now. The sophisticated aeroplanes that there are now. We have aeroplanes where basically the person can spend his whole life within that airplane. If it has the necessary supplies from washroom to your bed to all your meals, everything like that airplane. But before, at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and at the time of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'een, travel was difficult. It was not easy. Days they would travel just to go for Hajj. From Medina to Makkah, today with the express train, we travel from Medina to Makkah in just a matter of an hour or 2 hours, two and a half hours. But at that time, it would take days to travel from Medina to Makkah. Now, they are tired, so they halt to take some rest. And the people were busy about what they were doing. Now, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu, he was there alone, and with him was Ibn Sayyad. Ibn Sayyad. Now he brought his luggage and he put the luggage with Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu's luggage. And Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu, he tells him, it is very hot, why don't you put your luggage beneath the tree? Then what he did was, appeared a flock of sheep. Then a flock of sheep comes in front of him. Ibn Sayyad, he went to the flock of sheep and he milked the sheep and he brings a cup of milk. He brings a cup of milk. Now he offers it to Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu. Here you go. Here you go. Have a sip from this. Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu, he knew who Ibn Sayyad was. He is a little hesitant to drink from the hands of Ibn Sayyad. So he says, the milk is very hot, I will drink it in a little while. He tries to avoid. Now, what happened was, Ibn Sayyad, he tells Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu, people are falsely accusing me. People are saying I am a Dajjal. How can this be true? I feel like bringing a rope, tying it onto a tree, and strangling myself. Then he says, Abu Sa'id, if there is anyone who is more aware of a hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is there anyone who is more knowledgeable with regard to the hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam than you? You are one of the most knowledgeable people with regard to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Didn't the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say that the Dajjal will be sterile? A Dajjal will have no children. He will have no capability to bear children. But I have children. Ibn Sayyad is saying, I have children. I have left my children in Medina. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that a Dajjal will never enter Medina. But I live in Medina. Ibn Sayyad is saying, I live in Medina. So how can you call me a Dajjal? Now, Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu, after he mentions the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he is almost about to accept the explanation of Ibn Sayyad. Then Ibn Sayyad, as Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu is about to make his decision, Ibn Sayyad mentioned something that forces Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu to change his mind. Now Ibn Sayyad says, by Allah, I know where he was born, and I know where he is now. Referring to Dajjal. By Allah, I know where Dajjal was born, and by Allah, I know where he is now. Now, Abu Sa'id radiallahu anhu, after having such a long discussion with him, he says, really, you finish for the rest of the day. I am not going to stay with you even for another second. Let you and yourself be, and I will be. Now, this is an account of Ibn Sayyad, who certain ulama, they say that he is the Dajjal who was born at the time, who was a youngster at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some ulama say he is indeed, truly the Dajjal. And certain other ulama say no, he isn't Dajjal because he was living in Medina and he also had children, like he himself proved. So, certain other ulama say he was not Dajjal. But there is another opinion which says the Prophet ﷺ said that there will be 30 Dajjals, 30 millions, 30 mini Dajjals before the big one appears. Now these Dajjals, certain ulama say that these small Dajjals are the false prophets. Are they? False prophets. And certain ulama also say that Ibn Sayyad was one of these small Dajjals. That is why he knew where Dajjal was and where he was born. Nevertheless, Wallahu A'lam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not ask us on the day of Qiyamah, Ya Abdullah, here. Muslims now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not ask us. He won't ask, Ya Abdullah, who was Ibn Sayyad? Was Ibn Sayyad really Dajjal? Will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ask you this, Ya Abdullah? No, what will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ask you on the day of Qiyamah? How will you spend your life in this dunya? Whether you acted according to the commandments of Islam and the commandments of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us. So we should not worry too much about Ibn Sayyad, but for information's sake, just to have knowledge and protect ourselves from the fitna of Dajjal, we need to know who Ibn Sayyad, who he really was. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in regard to Dajjal, he doesn't explicitly mention Dajjal in the Quran. He indicates towards the coming of Dajjal in the Quran. However, Dajjal is not mentioned in the Quran by name. That is the story. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has explicitly mentioned that Dajjal will come and he will test, be a meager, a test for the Muslimin at the end of time. Nevertheless, the descent of Isa alayhi salam from the heavens is mentioned in the Quran, and that in itself implies the coming of Dajjal. That in itself implies the coming of Dajjal. So we should rest assured that the Dajjal has been mentioned in the Quran, but not explicitly, but in the mentioning of Isa alayhi salam, the mention of Dajjal is also implied. Okay, now with regard to Dajjal, how do we know that he is indeed from the signs of the earth? He is indeed from the major signs of Qiyamah. How do we know? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he is reported to have said, عن حذيفة بن أسيد الغفاري رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إن الساعة لا تقوم حتى تكون 10 آيات ومنها الدخان والدجال والدابة وطلوع الشمس من مغربها أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as reported by Hudayfa radiallahu anhu, he said, إن الساعة لا تقوم. The hour of Qiyamah will not be established until there are 10. There are the 10 signs. The 10 signs we discussed in our previous session. And from these 10 signs is Al-Masih, Al-Dajjal, and Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. He narrates from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says, ثلاث إذا خرجنا لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا. When these 3 signs come, then a person's Iman is not going to bring it. If you want to bring in Iman before these 3 signs are apparent. And these 3 signs are طلوع الشمس من مغربها, setting or rising of the sun? From the east or west? What is the sign of Qiyamah? Setting of the sun from the east or rising of the sun from the west? Rising of the sun from the west. That is one of the signs of Qiyamah. When the sun rises from the west, when the Dajjal has come, when the beast has come, then a person's iman is not going to benefit. If you want to make tawbah now, my dear brothers and sisters. Nevertheless, Dajjal is one of the greatest of fitnas for the human beings. One of the greatest of fitnas for the human beings. The Prophet ﷺ, Imran ibn Hussein, he said, between the creation of Adam salam and the onset of the hour, there is no creation that has more impact than Dajjal. We think in a time that we live in, the Muslims are being persecuted. There is racism at times against us. The Muslims in China, Uyghur, in East Turkmenistan, they are being persecuted day and night. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them peace. When Ramadan comes, especially when the last 10 days of Ramadan are approaching, our brothers who are performing the Farq Kifaya on behalf of us, defending the lands of Al-Aqsa, defending Masjid Al-Aqsa, defending Bayt al-Quds, they are being persecuted by the Israeli settlers. These are trials that our Muslim Ummah is facing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the reward that they deserve and ease their suffering. But all these trials and persecutions, when compared to the trial of Dajjal, it cannot be even equated, it cannot be even compared, because the time of Dajjal will be a difficult time for all those who hate. And all the prophets before the Prophet ﷺ had also warned their people of Dajjal. Be Adam alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, Nuh alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, all of them had warned their people about Dajjal. The Prophet ﷺ says, it is something that I fear for you the most. And Dajjal is something that I fear for you the most. If he emerges while I am among you, I will deal with him on your behalf. I will deal with him personally. But if he comes and I am not with you, then each and every one of you will have to deal with him by yourselves. And each and every one of you will have to protect your iman. Each and every one of you will have to protect your iman. Now, there are certain events that will occur before the appearance of Dajjal. Before Dajjal is let loose, there are certain events that will occur. From them is that the Muslims they will fight in the Arabian Peninsula. First, there will be a war in the Arabian Peninsula. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant the Muslims victory. Then again, the Muslims they will fight in Persia. Persia meaning the lands of Iran. In current day, modern day Iran. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant the Muslims even in Persia. Then the Muslimin and the Kuffar will fight each other in the Byzantine lands, meaning in Rome, in the Roman lands. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant the victory even there. Then comes the time when the Muslimin will fight the Dajjal, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant them victory over the Dajjal as well, inshaAllah. Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu said, when Jerusalem flourishes, when Palestine, the land of Palestine, they come back into the hands of the Muslims. When there is flourishing there, when there is goodness in Jerusalem, we will see that Medina, Yathrib, Medina will be in ruins. When Medina will be in ruins, the great battle will occur. This is known as Al-Malhama, the great battle. When the great battle occurs, and this great battle will be for Constantinople. Any idea what Constantinople is? Muhammad Salim? No. Any idea where Constantinople is? Israel. Turkey. Very. And I heard something here. Istanbul. Okay. Constantinople is in Turkey, of course. So, Constantinople will be conquered after this great battle. And Constantinople, for your information, was a Roman land before. And it was conquered by the great Ottoman Sultan. Anyone knows the name? Not Salah al-Din. He was from the IB. Great Sultan of the Ottoman who conquered Constantinople. Anyone? Yes. To Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anhu, he was a Sahabi. This was later, nowadays, in the times of the Ottomans, the Ottoman Empire. Suleiman al-Fatih, he conquered Constantinople. He conquered Constantinople. And Constantinople, even today, is a Muslim city, isn't it? Istanbul. It's a Muslim country, a beautiful country, a beautiful city. So, according to this hadith, after this great battle occurs, the Muslims will conquer Constantinople. This means that currently Constantinople is in the hands of the Muslims. It's under a Muslim rule. It's under a Muslim country. But since Muslims will conquer Constantinople again, this gives the notion that Muslims will lose Constantinople. Those areas around Turkey will fall into the hands of the non-Muslims. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us strength and resistance. Ameen. Then what happens next? When Constantinople is conquered, Dajjal will appear. Now Dajjal will appear. Before the appearance of Dajjal, there will be many wars between the Muslims and the Romans. Christians will occur and Christians will basically lose and Muslims will defeat them. And in another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, you will make peace with the Romans. The Romans and the Muslims, they will both make peace. There will be a truce. And then they will fight against an enemy who is behind them. They will fight a common enemy. Now, after fighting this common enemy, once the army of the Muslims and the Christians, they are victorious, what will happen? They will seize booty, the ruins of war. The war booty they will seize. Then the Muslims will return to their camp and the Christians will return to their camp. And one of the Christians will say, Christianity has prevailed. Now the Muslims, they will say, no, Christianity hasn't prevailed. It is because of the Muslims that you have won this war. Now then again there will start the battle between the Muslims and the people of the Christian faith. Now, when this war is going on between the Muslims and the Christians, what will happen? 1/3 of the Muslim army will flee away. They will flee away. They will be hypocrites, of course, and they will be scared and they will run away from the war. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never accept their tawbah. And the other third will be killed. They will be martyred. And there will be 1/3 left, and this third will win the war for the Muslims. This 1/3 that remains, they will win the war for the Muslims, and the Muslims will prevail, and they will get the war booty. And then they will conquer Constantinople. Now, after the spoils have been received and the war has come down, the Muslims, they will hang their swords on trees, on olive trees. While they have hung their swords on olive trees, Shaitan, he will come out and he will shout among them. And he will say, Al-Masih al-Dajjal has taken your place among your families. Al-Masih al-Dajjal has taken your place among your families. إن المسيح قد خلفكم في أهلكم. Indeed, the Messiah Dajjal, he has gone to your family and he has taken your family. Now, the Muslims, they will go out in fear to fight the Messiah Dajjal. And what will happen next? When the Muslims are heading towards Dajjal, for the false alarm of Shaitan, when they reach Syria, he will emerge. When the Muslims reach Syria, Dajjal will really emerge. In reality, now Dajjal will emerge. And then what happens next will be discussed later. Other events that will precede the appearance of Dajjal is, before Dajjal appears, there will be 3 difficult years in which the people will suffer severe famine. There will be hunger, there will be famine. In the first year, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will command the sky to withhold 1/3 of its rain and earth to withhold 1/3 of its produce. 1/3 is not an ordinary amount. It's not a small number. Today, if Sri Lanka is prevented from 1/3 of rain, 1/3 of agriculture will be affected. When 1/3 of agriculture is affected, then the produce that goes into the bazaar in the markets will reduce. When the supply of produce reduces, what will happen next? When supply comes down, what increases? Before the prices go up, demand increases. The economic curves of demand and supply. And eventually, like the uncle said, prices will go up. So, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbid us and grant a lot of barakah to our countries and the Muslimin and the people of other faith also living in our country. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all barakah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from such a situation. But when a famine occurs, this is what happens. Children go hungry. Children go hungry. They have nothing to eat. They sleep of hunger and they wake up in hunger. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this situation. In the second year, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will command the sky to withhold 2/3 of rain. In the first year, 1/3 of rain. Now, 2/3 of rain will be withheld. And the earth also will withhold 2/3 of its produce. In the third year, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not send down any rain at all. And not a single drop of rain will fall, and the earth will withhold all of its produce, and nothing will grow. Everything that provides shade will die, meaning the trees will die. This means that all the trees will die except for a few. And how will the people live? When there is no crops, no agriculture, and no food to eat, how do you think the people will live? The people will live with tahleed by saying Alhamdulillah. The people will live with takbir by saying Allahu Akbar. The people will live by saying Tahmeed Alhamdulillah. This will be the food of the people. La ilaha illallah will be the food of the people. In the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted so much honor. And another sign for the appearance of Dajjal that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reported to have said, the Dajjal will not appear until people forget about him and when the Imam stop mentioning him on the people. Can anyone recall the last day they listened to a Jummah Bayan about Dajjal? Indeed, Dajjal is closed. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, when the ulama stop mentioning about Dajjal on the minbars, then Dajjal will be closed. Dajjal will be closed. Now, coming to the physical description of Dajjal. The physical description of Dajjal. Any idea how a Dajjal is going to look like? Yes. Give me one idea. Okay. Yes, brother. MashaAllah. Anyone else? Yahya. Abdurrahman. No. Sorry. Abdullah. No. Yes. Correct. Yes, brother. Dr. Area. Okay, very good. So, Dajjal, the description of Dajjal is given to us. Now, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was described by the Sahaba from toe to head. From head to toe, he was described because he was loved by the Sahaba radiallahu anhu. Now, the Prophet ﷺ has himself given us the description of Dajjal. Why do you think the Prophet ﷺ has described Dajjal to us in so much detail? Any idea? So that we can protect ourselves from the Dajjal. Now, his description, he will be short. Certain riwayat mention that he will be tall, but ulama say that he will be short and will walk with his toes curving, and there will be a gap between his calves. There will be a gap between his calves. He will be short. He will walk with his toes turned inwards. When your toes are turned inwards with your feet, yes, you can write that up. When your toes are turned inwards, there is a gap between your calves. And the other description that the Prophet ﷺ has given us, he will have curly hair, like the brother said. He will have curly hair. His hair will neither be fine, and nor will his hair be straight. And his hair will be extremely thick. He will have thick hair. He will be blind in one eye. He will be blind in one eye, and his right eye will be like a floating grave. Like a full floating grave. His left eye will not function, and his right eye also, which will be like a floating grave. So you can imagine how if someone with a floating grave were to come here, Abdul would definitely be frightened. So his eye would look like that, like a floating grave, and one of his eyes, the left eye, will be wiped off. Wiped off. He will be, and his right eye, which will be like a floating grave, will be defective. So he will not have full vision and eyesight. And he will be white. He will be fair. In certain regard, it says that he will be, when we say he will be white, he will be chalk white. There are different shades of fair. The fair that is pleasing to look at is not the fair that the fairness that the Dajjal will have. He will be extremely white. Extremely white. And then he will have a wide forehead. A wide forehead. A wide forehead, and between his eyes will be the letters Ka, Fa, Ra. Between his eyes will be the letters Ka, Fa, Ra. Now, first two. Imagine Ka, Fa, Ra written in between someone's eyes would have been a little difficult if we were living in the 1960s and 70s. But today, certain human beings, out of their ignorance, they try to change the creation of Allah. All over their face they have tattoos. All over their face they have tattoos. I am not saying that Dajjal will have a tattoo. It will be from the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his wisdom. How will the kafara look? I don't know. And you also cannot know. When the people see Dajjal, they will be able to read whether a believer is literate or unliterate, whether he has hadith, whether he knows to read or not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the true believer a strength and an inspiration through which he will read the letters Kaf Ra on the head of the Dajjal. And as we discussed earlier, Dajjal will be sterile. The Dajjal will be sterile. and he will not have children. He will not be able to have children. So, can someone summarize how Dajjal is going to look for us? One of our young brothers. Can one of you stand up and summarize for us? Yes, brother Abdul is volunteer. Yes. That guy will be wiped out. Very good. So his eye will be like a protruding, floating grape. Nevertheless, now where will Dajjal emerge from? Where will Dajjal emerge from? Any idea? From Colombia? Any? From the sky? Behind the new mountain? The difference of opinion from the sky behind the new mountain. Yes, brother. MashaAllah, may Allah reward you and grant you barakah in your ilm. Khurasan. And where is Khurasan? Iran. Very good. Dajjal will emerge from a land in the east called Khurasan. And this land in the east, Khurasan, is in modern day Iran. It is located in modern day Iran. And he will be followed by people with faces like hammered shields. Like hammered shields. So, at times we come to the conclusion that even the Mongols had faces like that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said that Dajjal will emerge from Khorasan, which is a city in Iran, and his face with the followers of Dajjal will have faces like hammered shields, meaning they will have very prominent cheekbones, and he will first appear in a famous place between Syria and Iraq. And Allah Ta'ala knows this. This is according to another narration that he will first appear between Syria and Iraq. Allah Ta'ala knows this. Now, there's an interesting incident where التميم الداري رضي الله عنه تميم الداري رضي الله عنه who was initially a Christian, and he came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he swears allegiance. He gives bay'ah to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and becomes a Muslim. Now, Tamim al-Dari radiallahu anhu, he relates to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam an incident. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gathers all the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam narrates this incident that Tamim al-Dari radiallahu anhu narrated to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The incident goes that Tamim al-Dari radiallahu anhu was a Christian, and when he came and saw allegiance to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and became Muslim, he told the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam something that agrees with the idea and the narrations that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had narrated about the Dajjal. So Tamim al-Dari says, he proclaims to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that he, along with 30 other men, sailed in a ship. They go on a voyage in a ship. And these 30 men were of Lahum and Julan. These were the ethnicities of these men. And they were tossed by the waves of the sea. So they were stranded in the sea for a month. Then they arrived at an island. After being stranded in the sea, in the middle of the ocean, being tossed by waves here and there, they finally arrived at that island. Now when they arrived at this island, it is sunset. Now they sat in a small rowing boat, and they landed on this island. Then they met a beast. Al-Jassasa. Then they come and meet this beast. How did the beast look? Very hairy. Now this beast was something that they had never seen before. It was so hairy. His place on his back could not be identified. A person comes now covered in black, in a black box, for example, or wearing a black cloak, covering himself in a black shawl. Will you be able to identify where his back is and where his face is? No. Similarly, his face was covered with hair. There was so much hair that all over the face of this beast there was hair. And the back was also covered with hair. So they could not distinguish the back of this beast and the face of this beast. The beast was so hairy. Now this beast comes to these people, these 30 men, and it says, woe be to you. These 30 men, of course, tell this beast, woe be to you. Who are you? Such a frightening creation. Who are you? And this beast says, I am a Jassasa. I am a Jassasa. Now, when the 30 men they asked this beast, what is a Jassasa? What is a Jassasa? The beast does not describe itself. Rather, the beast says, people go to this man in the monastery, for he is keen to know about him. The beast proclaimed to these people that as Dajjal is here hidden in a cave, people go and visit him. So you all also go and see him. You all also go and see him. The interruption. All good? Now the beast, he shows the location of the Dajjal to these people. Now, the 30 men, they are scared, they are frightened, they are fearful. There is beast who has indicated to us a certain location of a certain person. This could be a devil or something like that. But out of their curiosity, they embarked on this journey of finding this man. And now they come to this monastery. There they found a huge man. A huge man. With his hands strongly in chains. His hands were chained. And his hands were tied to his neck. Hands were tied to his neck. And his legs, bound from the knees to ankles, were in iron shackles. From knee to ankles, his legs were in iron shackles. Now, these men go to this creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they say, woe to you, who are you? This man, he replies, you will soon find out about me. You will soon find out about me. Tell me who you are. Now they say, we are people from Arabia. We are people from Arabia. We embarked on a ship, but the sea became violent and the waves touched us here and there for a month. And now we are stranded on this island of yours. We were met by a beast, and this beast showed us the way to you. Now, this man in the monastery, he says, tell me about the date palm trees of Baisan. Tell me about the date palm trees of Baisan. Baisan is a city in Jordan. Then they asked, what do you want to know about this? He said, I am asking you whether the trees in Baisan bear fruit. We said, yes. They said, yes, the trees in Baisan bear fruit. Now this man at Dajjal, he said, soon they will not bear fruit. Then he said, he talks about the river. Is there water in this river? They say, there's a great deal of water in it. Then he says, soon it will dry up. Then he asks, Tell me about the spring of Zubar. This is a spring in Syria. They said, what do you want to know about it? He said, if they water in the spring and do the people grow crops with the water of the spring? They said, yes, there is plenty of water. Now finally, he asks them about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Dajjal asks these 30 men, what about the Prophet of the unlettered? They said, he has left Makkah because he was being persecuted and he has settled in yesterday. Then he asked, do the Arabs fight against him? They said, yes, the Arabs fought against him, but he has prevailed over the Arabs. And he has shown them the right way of life. Then he asked, has this really happened? Has the Prophet ﷺ really come? Then they said, yes, he has come. Then he says, if it is so, then it's better for them that they show obedience to him. If the Prophet ﷺ has really come, Dajjal is saying this, then it is better for the Arab to show obedience to the Prophet ﷺ and become Muslimin. Now he says, I will tell you something about myself. I am a Dajjal, and I soon will be given permission to emerge. So I will come out and travel in the land and will not spare any town, but I will stay 40 nights. Except Makkah and Medina. Makkah and Medina are both forbidden to a Dajjal. Every time I try to enter one of them, I will be met by an angel with a sword guarding Medina and Makkah, and he will be guarding Medina and Makkah. The angels will prevent the Dajjal from entering. Now, after narrating this story, the Prophet ﷺ strikes the victim with his staff, with his asa, with his stick, and he says, this is Taiba, this is Taiba, this is Taiba, meaning Medina. Did I not tell you this before? The people said, yes. The Prophet ﷺ said, I like the story of Tamim because it agrees with what I used to tell you about him and about Makkah and Medina. And about Makkah and Medina. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he said that the Dajjal is in the east, is somewhere in the east now. Then certain people give geographical locations to a Dajjal. They say there is a mysterious location known as the Bermuda Triangle. Are you aware of it? A lot of ships have passed by into it and they never returned. A lot of airplanes passed and went into the Bermuda Triangle and they never came back. Multiple people lost their lives in the Bermuda Triangle. But these are just conjectures. We can never say with proof and evidence that the Dajjal is indeed in the Bermuda Triangle. Then there are certain signs that show that the Dajjal is about to appear very soon. Before, when these signs take place, then we should rest assured that the Dajjal is anywhere close. And from those signs, we said that is the Battle of Constantinople, the great Battle of Constantinople. Then there will be multiple conquests. Then withholding of rain and vegetation. Rain will be withheld and vegetation will not grow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will command the rain to be withheld. Initially, 1/3 of the rain, then 2/3 of the rain will be withheld. Then completely rain will be withheld and it will not be sent down on the earth. Then there will be a lot of tribulation. Then there will appear 30 liars. 30 liars who will appear before the Dajjal. Before the Dajjal. Now, there is one section that we need to discuss. How will a Dajjal emerge? We said, like we saw in the hadith of Tamim al-Dari, that the Dajjal is currently tied up in an island. He is shackled in an island. How will he emerge? How will he emerge? The Prophet ﷺ in a hadith, he narrated to us and he says that he will emerge because of one instance of anger. Because of one instance of anger, that the Dajjal will emerge. With regard to Ibn Sayyad as well, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he says, I met Ibn Sayyad on one of the roads of Medina and I said something to him that made him angry. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he met Ibn Sayyad in one of the roads of Medina and he said something to Ibn Sayyad that made Ibn Sayyad angry. Ibn Sayyad became angry. Guess what happens now? Ibn Sayyad, out of anger, he swells like a balloon, and he blows up, and he covers the full street of Medina. He covers the street of Medina. Now, Ibn Umar, he enters the house of his sister, Hafsa, the daughter of Umar. Hafsa advises him, what have you been doing? Don't you know that the Messenger of Allah said that the Dajjal will appear because of one instance of anger. So, certain ulama, they take this hadith and they prove that Ibn Sayyad is indeed a Dajjal. Is indeed a Dajjal. And when a Dajjal appears, time will be constricted. The Prophet ﷺ said, the Dajjal will emerge when people's religious commitment is low. People will not be very religious and they will turn away from knowledge. They will turn away from seeking Islamic knowledge. He will have 40 days during which he will travel about. One day like a year, one day like a month, one day like a week, and the rest of his days like your days. 40 days, the first day of Dajjal will be like a year. The second day of Dajjal will be like a month. The third day of Dajjal will be like a week. And then the rest of the days will be like our days. He will come to the people and say, I am your Lord. He will say that he is the Lord. And written between his eyes will be Ka, Fa, Ra. Ka, Fa, Ra. And every believer will be able to see that. And he will not be able to enter except Makkah and Medina. He will enter all the other cities. And certain examples of the fitna of Dajjal. Hudayf ibn Yaman radiallahu anhu, he narrates that the Prophet ﷺ said, he will give, now he will come and he will have two gardens. He will show the people two gardens. One will be a garden of fire. The other will be a garden of water. Now what will happen is, just to rephrase it, he will have a garden and a fire on this side. A garden and a fire. Now his garden in stark reality will be the fire. And the fire in reality will be the garden. Today, if we were to look at a garden and a fire, if Zayd was to be shown a garden and a fire, will you believe that this is actually a fire and this is actually a garden? No. We will base our thoughts and our decisions on the reality. But the Dajjal, in another narration, the Prophet ﷺ says, he will have water and fire. His fire will be cool water and his water will be fire. If anyone sees that, let him go to the river which he thinks is fire. This is the advice of the Prophet ﷺ. When you are in the time of Dajjal and he shows you fire and water, go to the garden where there is fire. Because Dajjal will always be a liar and he will show us fire as water and water as fire. Then another narration where the Prophet ﷺ, he says, he will say to the Bedouin, what do you think if I resurrect your father and your mother? A Bedouin whose father and mother will have passed away very longer, he will go to him and he will say, the Dajjal will say, what if I resurrect your father and your mother? What if I bring them alive again? The Bedouin say, can you really do this? Now, two devils, two shayateen, two jinnah will appear in the form of the father and the mother of this baby, through which this baby will be convinced and start following the Dajjal. Then he will call a youngster. The Dajjal will call a youngster, and he will say to the people, look at this slave of mine, I shall resurrect him. Then he will kill him, and he will give him life again. And he will give him life again. And how will Dajjal do this? Dajjal will think that he actually brought him back to life. But it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has brought that youngster back to life. Now, how do we become safe from Dajjal? How do we become safe? Bring ourselves to safety from Dajjal. If I was to say that outside in the masjid parking, there is a lion who is let loose, who is untied, what will happen? How many people will leave this masjid and go to the parking? I don't right. None of us will fall prey to the lion. Similarly, Dajjal is a very evil fitna, and a cause of trial for the Muslimin. So, whenever someone sees it, the Prophet ﷺ has commanded us to avoid Dajjal, not go close to him. And if someone happens to meet the Dajjal, we should always make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants him tawfiq to be on the correct path. Then there is another aspect that we have ignored in a certain way, that is to recite the opening verses, which are the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf. And Surah Al-Kahf in itself is a means of protection from the Dajjal. Why? Because in Surah Al-Kahf, the story of the people of the cave is mentioned. The youngsters who fled from a tyrant ruler because he was commanding them to worship idols, these group of youngsters, they fled from this tyrant ruler and they went and sought refuge in this cave. Later on, hundreds of years later, they are going to be awake by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they went into the cave, they were put into a slumber. They thought that they might have just slept for a day or two, but you see, more than 300 years they had slept. When they go out, there is this just ruler who commands people to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made these stories. He has placed these stories in Surah Al-Kahf. That is why Allah, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, has commanded us to seek protection from the Dajjal by reciting Surah Al-Kahf. And after every salah, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has taught us the dua. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika من عذاب النار ومن عذاب القبر ومن فتنة المحيا والممات ومن فتنة المسيح الدجال. Oh Allah, I seek refuge from the adab, from the punishment of the fire, from the punishment of the grave, and from the trials of this life and the death, and from the trials that the Dajjal is going to bring forth. Now, how will the Dajjal die? See, today we have embarked on this vision of studying the signs of the Qiyamah completely. I know it's 5:15, it's past an hour, but the brothers suggested that since we have Isa alayhi salam and multiple other signs of Qiyamah to cover the next session, we at least finish at the Dajjal. And we are almost done with it and we'll wrap up in a minute. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant your patience and may He reward you for your patience. Now, where will Dajjal die? Where will Dajjal die? Any idea? Yes. MashaAllah, very good. MashaAllah, the brother is very learned. He's well read. MashaAllah, may Allah reward you with that. You will thank you. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu he narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that the Dajjal will come from the east, heading from Medina, until he comes behind Uhud. Then the angels will cause him to lead towards Syria and then he will die. He will come towards Medina, but he won't be able to enter Medina. He will camp behind the Mount Uhud. The Mount Farook, he will stand behind it, and when he goes over the Mount Farook, and he will see Masjid al-Nabawi, and he will say, this is the White Palace. He will call it the White Palace. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, 1,400, almost 1,500 years ago, he related to us this incident. When the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was alive, the Masjid al-Nabawi was a small masjid, not what it is today. It was expanded at the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, then at the time of the Ottomans. But at the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's time, it was a small masjid, not a very big masjid, made of earth and fiber. But 1,400 years ago, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam knew that al-Masjid al-Nabawi will be expanded and it will become what it is today. This is the inspiration of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He had granted the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, while the Muslimin are preparing to fight and forming ranks, the Iqamah will be given. Now Muslimin, they will be together, they will be preparing for the war, and Iqamah will be given. Bob Mahdi, as we saw last session, to conduct his salah. Now Isa alayhi salam will descend. Isa alayhi salam will descend. Where will he descend? It is said that he will descend to the white minaret. The white minaret which they have proclaimed that Isa alayhi salam will descend on in Damascus. They say it is there currently. But we cannot confirm and say it is that white minaret that Isa alayhi salam will descend upon. It could be any other white minaret also. He will be wearing two garments that will be perfumed with saffron, placing his hands on the wings of two angels. How beautiful that sight will be. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Isa alayhi salam, will descend while placing his hands on the two wings of angels. When he lowers his head, it will drip. Something will drip. And when he raises it, it will scatter like drops of pearls. Yet the disbeliever who is within the rain will die out of the breath of Isa alayhi salam. Just the breath of Isa alayhi salam will cause the disbelievers to die. Now, the Muslimin, they will be ready for salah. They will be ready for salah. Iqamah will be called for Mahdi radiallahu anhu to conduct salah. It is said that this will be the Fajr salah. Isa alayhi salam will descend and he will step back from his place and he will say, I am not going to conduct the salah. This Iqamah was called out for your Imam, the Imam of the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he is the ideal person who should lead the salah, go forward and pray, but the Iqamah was given for you. This is an honor that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because one of the members of the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be commanded to lead Isa alayhi salam in salah. Now what will happen after the salah is over? The Imam will lead the prayer and the salah will be over. Now Isa alayhi salam, he will say, open the gate, and they will open it. And behind it will be Dajjal with 70,000 Jews, each carrying a drawn sword and wearing a greenish cloak. They will be wearing a greenish cloak, a shawl-like thing. When Dajjal looks at him, he will start to melt. When Dajjal looks at Isa alayhi salam, he will start to melt as salt melts. Then he will start running away from Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam will catch up with him at the gate of Lud. It is known as the gate of Lud, which is a well-known place in Palestine. The Jews actually have built a military base there. A military base there. Now, Isa alayhi salam will kill the Dajjal at the gate of Lut, and the Dajjal will dissolve like salt, dissolve in water. Like salt, dissolve in water. Isa alayhi salam will again strike him with the spear that he is carrying in his hand, and he will show the people the traces of the blood of Dajjal. Dajjal will not die in that way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will defeat the Dajjal, and the Muslims will prevail. What will happen next? And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He protects us and grant us protection from the Dajjal. We conclude the discussion of the Dajjal with few lessons. A few lessons. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reported to have said, something that I fear for you more than the Dajjal. The Dajjal is a dangerous liar, a dangerous fitna. But the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, something that I fear for you more than the Dajjal is Riya shirk. It is hidden shirk. A man gets up and prays. He prays that he is the sage of the age, the allama of his time. He prays with so much khushu, with so much khudu. But why does he pray? To show the people. To show the people. But when he notices that no one is watching him, all his khushu is gone, his khudu is gone, and at times his salah is also gone. So Riya is something that is more dangerous than the Dajjal. We should stay away from Riya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He has granted us wealth, if He has granted us good clothing, we should wear it with the niyyah of adorning ourselves for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not with the niyyah of putting someone else down, to put someone else down or to believe them or believe in them. No. This is a serious matter. In another hadith, companion of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu said, something that I fear for you, fear most for my ummah, is misguided leaders. Misguided leaders. Today, the majority of the problems in the Muslim ummah are because of misguided leaders, and they do not have proper guidance. Nevertheless, my brothers and sisters in Islam, sisters watching at home, of course, we conclude with this. We have come to a conclusion of the session of the Dajjal. Indeed, he is something very serious. The Dajjal is a serious matter, and since we have learned about the Dajjal today, we should make an effort to protect ourselves through the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by reciting Surah Al-Kahf, by memorizing the first 10 and the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf, by renewing our intention, seeking ilm, and having firm intention that we will follow the path of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, next session we will discuss further about Isa alayhi salam and the many signs that are to follow after him. And with that, we will conclude our session. The last 10 nights of Ramadan are fast approaching. The coming Thursday, inshallah, will be the 21st night, and it will be the first odd night of the last 10 days of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us tawfiq and respect to worship Him in the best manners in the last 10 days of Ramadan and whatever days of Ramadan. With that, we conclude. Jazakumullah khair to the brothers of Muslim organization, youth forum, and the